Hey, welcome. Happy Friday. Welcome to Designing Adobe XD. I'm your host, Talin Wadsworth, and today I have one of my favorite people on the Adobe XD team here joining me. I'm so excited she could. This is Kate Eom.
Hi, everyone.
I'll actually let you introduce yourself. Let's do that first.
Yeah, so thank you, Talin, for having me here. I'm
excited
super excited. I'm a product manager for Adobe XD. I'm working on collaboration, which is all around about sharing, working with the team, commenting, all that. That's my world.
It's very meta because, Kate is actually working on like how to help us work better as a team because, we use Adobe XD to design Adobe XD. And so Kate's got this very meta problem that we all, but even more so, she's like, how do we use XD to help us work better together?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be talking about today is really like how we use Adobe XD to work better as a team. Again, like we're really, building it so that we can do our jobs better. So, but first let's say hey to everyone in the chat. Thanks for joining us today. Danny, Vian, Luke, what's going on? Howard, thank you. I love this shirt. This is a new shirt. I had to wear it today.
It's very Friday themed.
It is.
It makes me happy.
It is. I got a little late in the season for the summer, but I like a good floral print. But we've also got the new background going on behind us, which I love as well. So, Paris, thanks for joining us. Jose, what's going on, guys? It's always great to see you guys here. If you have any questions about Adobe XD, have you tried Adobe XD? How's it going with that? You guys have any questions for us, let us know. I also want to give a quick shout out if you haven't been playing along at home. Today we have the daily creative challenge for Adobe XD. I've got that up here on my screen. Let's give a quick look at it. So I don't know if you've done this before, but this is a great way to sort of like learn XD, have some sort of, some challenges, kind of get those creative juices going. And, you can come here, you can get kind of the starter XD file, and you can kind of play along with everyone else who's taken the challenge with some chances, I think, to win some cool prizes here. Have you done any of these? Have you been?
Not yet, but I'm really looking forward to unlocking.
Yes. Today, redesigning a weather application. So it's really cool. You basically can download XD, you can grab the XD file, and just kind of play along, kind of do your own riff, kind of learn some new things about XD. Some repeat grid stuff going on in this challenge today. You guys should all go check it out. Matthias, of course, calling it out because he's not going to call it out himself. Happy birthday to Paco running the show over here.
Happy birthday!
Yes. Paco, man, he's the man behind the scenes keeping this thing going. Matthias, great to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Jose had a quick question. Here you go. In XD, when previewing the prototype live, is the HTML code available to view?
No.
Put you on the hot seat right away.
Yeah. It's coming soon, though. I mean, we know what we are missing. It's still young.
Would you like it to Jose? Would you like to be able to see the HTML code? Actually, like that would get us really excited. Is it like we have ideas of where XD should go, but what are your guys' ideas? That's really why we're here, and kind of why we're here every Friday, talking with you, finding out.
Somebody asked, is XD free? Yes.
Oh my gosh.
We have a starter plan.
We do.
So all you need to do is just create an Adobe account for free, and you can start downloading XD.
Start right here. I'm sure there's some links to get you there. If you sort of kick off the XD file, go check it out. There's no reason not to. See what you think. Let us know. Give us your feedback. And Adriano, he had a question about After Effects. Adriano, yes, the team is working on some support for both sort of from XD to After Effects and from some support for some video media inside of After Effects, actively being worked on right now. So I hope we can show you that before too long. So, all right. So Kieran, of course, very timely question, collaboration. Yeah. We're still working out some of the kinks, but we're getting there. On more of the advanced collaboration features. But Kate, let's talk about like just collaboration and its importance as like part of your own process, part of the team's process. Like this is a big challenge we have, like working with all these people to build an application like XD.
So I mean, Talin, we talked about it a lot. When we are building a product, we are not building for feature. We are building a product to solve the workflow. Serve the workflow. So it's not just like one of everybody. Whether it's a small team, big team, you have to work with like different people, whether it's your other designer that you want to use a live collaboration together. It might be your product manager that you want to share, and get the feedback. Yeah. Your manager, your developer to share specs. So, like it's actually a lot of like small hiccups that hurdles that designers have to overcome, and it takes away valuable time that you have to do a lot of tedious manual work. So those are all the problems that I love to resolve, and hope XD can support those. So ultimately, designers can be successful, and also their stakeholders, people that designers work together, can also be successful and get their job done in a most efficient, seamless way.
I feel like that's one of those things that you don't really learn, I think, when you're either new to the industry or you're in school, to be a designer, a UX designer, or even when you're probably going to school to be a computer scientist, like collaboration isn't really part of school, right? And the realities of, I think, of any work, any career, is that it to get something made, get something like real out into the world, it takes a lot of people, know?
I think you just hit the nail where you don't learn how to work with other people. There isn't even once you join a company, it's not very clearly written out, or you are onboarded. There are a lot of different teams and work in different ways.
Yeah.
You have to just pick up different jargons, and it takes away a lot of mental energy and time. So it
takes a lot of time. I totally working with people takes time. People, why are you so difficult to work with? No, just Kate's got this really great diagram kind of up on her screen, actually inside of XD. And cool. This was really, like for us, and I kind of talked about this a little bit last week when we talked about the design principles of XD. We really felt, when we kind of think about XD, we really think about the creative process, right? And I really love this. This to me just really encapsulates, not just the key workflows of XD, but the design process itself. You're designing something, and you immediately need to be able to share and get that feedback, so that you can, or share that prototype, so you can put that feedback back into the design and then iterate and just kind of follow this. I mean, how do you think about today, with XD, this is. How is this representing everything, or is this really just part of the small slice of the process?
So this is how we started. We believe that, hey, this is the very high level view of how designers work with other people. And then these are in the circle, in the middle of the circle, we support right now prototypes, design specs. We could export assets, and we just added asset download from XD design specs. So we'll show you later.
Yes,
but then over time, as XD is maturing and people are adopting XD in their workflows, we learned this is not quite the reality.
Or it's not the only thing.
It's not the only thing.
Yeah, right. I think and to add to this, particularly about one, I think that the things that we realized from the get-go that we kind of brought with us into building XD is that as a designer, you never send the file to your client, or you never send the file to your engineer. You're sending a version of that file. The file's messy. The file usually has a lot going on. We all kind of do it. We have things on the pasteboard. We have extra artboards that aren't really related, or maybe from earlier ideas. And we're usually curating that in some way and sending some kind of artifact of the design process, right? It's a version of my design, either as an interactive prototype, or again as a spec, again, or as exported assets, individual assets. Again, there's some time I'm taking as a designer to prepare that, to communicate very clearly to my team, right? So you're kind of mentioning this is a very simplistic view.
Right.
But Kate and Lars, who if he's tuning in, Lars, why won't you come on the stream with me? Come on. Everybody go tweet at Lars and tell him that he should come join me on the stream. I'm working on him. All right.
So Lars and I, we work together, and it's Talin as well. So along the path, we learn how we try to talk to designers, our users outside of this building. To really try to understand what their design process is and how it looks like, so we could really serve their needs, not the needs that we think we know.
This was a good first take, but when we dug in there and really went and talked to users, there's a lot going on through the life cycle of our whole project, the whole process.
So when we like kind of looked at the the design process and by talking to them like different people and like different sizes of the organizations, there's such a lot going on in design process, and then there are a lot of different like outputs or some sort of deliverables designers have to create.
Yeah.
So that's you may have to start from like some research, understand these
that's
personas,
like the early part of the design process, right?
And then you turn it into some ideas, brainstorm, and then like come up with some like user flow, some like map, interactive maps. You turn it into like lo-fi, hi-fi, and then until you get to like present to your stakeholders or your manager, there are a lot of like iterations and still like steps going on. And as we talked earlier, prototypes and design specs are part of subset of those
like
outputs.
one of these,
but
at one phase of the design,
but
right?
it's not covering for all these use cases that needs designers have. So that's something that we are realizing.
And it's actually something that I think we're finding ourselves that again, like when we thought about kind of all the different things that you can create in XD, we started with a core set, but we ourselves have actually started to do some of these things inside of XD throughout the design process. When it comes to, again, early in the phases, either putting together, decks that sort of showcase personas or competitive analysis or, early user flows. We as a team have really been utilizing XD throughout this long process of getting, this really in-depth process of getting a product out into the world.
It's like reading like people are picking up.
Yeah, there's some questions going on. Luke, yes, again, like XD is really great, I think, for prototyping. You're early, again, like we're sort of showing, like if you're early in your process of designing your website, you might need to create some wireframes. Start wiring up, start previewing or prototyping some of those interactions or the flow of your website. And then you can start moving into like more high fidelity design. Again, pixel perfect comps as Kate's sort of calling out here. You start, again, the prototype starts being more and more refined. And then at the end, as you're getting closer and closer to that handoff, to that output of like actually implementing your design, that's where we have things like design specs or assets that you're exporting or delivering via the design specs. Again, like there's so what we kind of looking at this makes you realize like how much stuff we actually create just to communicate with our team. Yeah, and
then because as I said, we use XD to work together as a team, in XD team. So just literally last week, Lars had put together some screens for me so I could present to the stakeholders, and I had to go back and forth between like C and like Keynote. So I understand like what goes in, how much work and time is actually spent on creating multiple outputs. So it was really like something that I could empathize with.
Yeah, I think like one of the things that really XD is about at its foundation, and what we've heard from designers and ourselves is like XD is a communication tool. It should help you kind of support again like I think that core workflow of being able to generate something like a URL. Being able to share that URL with your team to go and interact with that presentation or that prototype or that spec. That to me is like feels like a really solid foundation. I don't know what you guys kind of think about it, but or how we'd love to hear how are you guys using XD? Are you for those who have used XD a lot? Are you guys just prototyping? Are you creating presentations? Like what kind of things are you guys making? We'd love to hear that. So why don't we go take a look at that thing that you're like one of those decks or one of those prototypes. Like talk about like the prototype or that URL like as part of like the process with like, and Kate works really closely with Lars. You guys kind of partner up to tackle this whole problem of sort of collaboration. So how are you getting your work done?
Yeah, so my designer Lars, he put together a prototype and she usually shares the link. I could actually quickly show you how I can create that.
Yeah.
If you go look at the top right corner of XD, you see this share icon. Once you click it, you could publish a prototype. You could publish a design spec. This is more towards later when you want to share the specs with your developer. Yeah. So let's say I actually have to, I'm gonna wire this up. So these are all connected.
Linda in the chat was saying that she has an XD document with almost 1,000 storyboards for Captivate project. That's really cool, Linda. That's a really cool. Storyboarding, again, like anytime you need to tell like a, like kind of a linear flow, like there's, you can use some of those prototyping features to actually like make that really interactive. Or an interactive storyboard, that's cool. Matthias, you mentioned you were making some presentations last time too. Anything to get away from PowerPoint? Yes. I won't say, I have nothing to say about PowerPoint myself.
So also like publish prototype, that's what I want.
Yep.
Actually, I am actually in the private prototype mode.
Oh yeah.
So which is, you could actually switch this using this button on the bottom. So
and that's something that we just released recently. Originally, you could only publish sort of public URLs, but now, again, like as we were talking with designers, they're saying, well, I don't want just anyone to be able to see this. I want these specific people to see it. So this is actually a feature, Kate, that you shipped, your squad shipped very recently.
Yep, so I'm gonna update because I made some changes. And then I'm gonna invite you, Talin.
All right, yes, of course, because
once you start typing names.
Sorry, you guys, it's only for me.
It's, it suggests the names. I can
private
just
invite,
select,
not public.
I will select Lars. I'll invite my coworker Audrey, Jonathan.
Tim's creating. Tim, are you sharing your prototypes with others? How are you sharing? Are you sharing publicly? Are you sharing privately? Adriano is saying that he created a presentation for the UX design process. Ooh, are you like embedding that in your Behance project? I'd love to see that. Send me that link. I'd love to see that.
So once you create, now that you get the link,
Yep.
So you could either like copy the link and or just open it. I'll just open it in a browser.
Yep. So now you can go and then you can preview that. So that's sort of an example of a workflow. Do you have actually like a project that has like some comments and stuff? Because like I think this is like the next step. So now you've shared it. Like how are you and the team using now this link, as part of like to help the communication?
So I already have a prototype link open up here.
Yep.
So this is something that we kind of work together. So like let's say you have it here. And you see this like comment button on the right. You click it, you will see all the comments and like marked comments here. So like people can actually like leave a pin.
Yeah.
And then you can.
So this link was shared with the team. This was around kind of an example project that we were working on.
Yep.
Yep.
And you could like leave a comment here, and then it's now then marked here. You could also reply to people if you want to, have
a little conversation
resolve
there.
And you could resolve the comments.
Yep.
Another cool feature we just released is add mention. So when you click on this,
because this is where for us, right? Like the link, the designer, rather than sharing like some images or like a PDF via Slack or email. Again, where the conversation now gets kind of lost, or can get kind of lost, or kind of dispersed. Like instead, what the team does and what the design team has kind of established as like a standard is that we generate a prototype link. That prototype link becomes like the Bible. It becomes like the source of truth for like that feature or that workflow. And then all the conversation really happens there. All the feedback, all the, again, it's sent out widely to the team so that everybody can provide feedback. And this new feature that Kate's mentioning is going to be huge for us.
Yeah, because you could now just easily point your comments to specific people that you want for actions to be taken.
Yep.
Yeah, you could like select anyone, and you could, can you review this color?
Yeah, and then they get notified. So you've got, hey, look, Jonathan. There's another Jonathan Pimento. Designer extraordinaire, but also product manager on XD, working on some really cool features. You guys should bug him in the chat about the cool features he's working on. Hey, Mohammed, great, thanks for tuning in from Saudi Arabia. It's great to see you.
I love this live stream. People are like tuning in from everywhere.
Good. It's so fun. That's the fun part about this. So Mary, no, actually, that's the cool thing about this process is that not all of our team actually needs XD. So the designers use XD, and some others, more of the the like Kate and our PM team do use XD, and of course, our engineers do too. They're doing amazing things with XD as well. But you don't necessarily need to have XD. This URL is now available either publicly to kind of anyone that you want to send that URL to anyone, or we can invite other members of our team who are not XD users, maybe some of our project managers, some of our collaborators kind of outside of our team. Right? This becomes like the source of truth, so they don't need to have XD and they don't need to download the file. They can now just come here and we can get all that great feedback, again, without everyone having to use XD.
Just you need link.
Yep.
All you need is a link. I'm gonna actually switch to the design specs.
Oh yeah.
Just to
because
showcase
we showed
new asset download. So this is the design spec of the very same prototype I just was showing you. So when you click on here, you see all the red lines showing up. So all the measurement, you don't have to do the red lines by hand.
Yeah. So this was the project. Everybody kind of gave their feedback on the prototype link, and all that feedback, of course, the designer, followed every one of those suggestions. And then now, of course, at the end of the process, now you can then take that same file and now generate a design spec from it.
Yep.
Yeah. Really cool.
And so here in this one, there's this button is actually an asset. So now
this is brand new.
Now you could click and download.
Now you can download it.
You could change.
I'm like right in the middle of the download. There it is.
You are.
Paco, he's on
Paco.
it. Thanks, man.
So you select an asset, and then you will let you download it. So you see it on the bottom right corner.
Yep.
You could select the target asset type, either SVG, PNG, or PDF. Just download. So now you don't have to send in separate files or links to your developer. Just one XD design spec
and this
link.
is all linked back to the source file, right? So as a design team, we have one source file that we're working from, and then we publish the link to get all the feedback early in the process. Again, as Kate kind of showed that cool sort of end-to-end workflow. So we share, early wireframes, and then we move into more high fidelity designs, and we're getting feedback the whole time at that link, that URL on the web. And then at the end, again, very seamlessly, I can then just publish that design spec directly from the same file, and now it's available, and now it has a super handy feature, not just getting all the measurements and colors and styles, but now my developer can actually download those assets directly from the web.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I just wanted to call out Lee. Lee, thanks for joining us. You've been a designer for 7 years, or you're a 7-year-old designer. Thanks for liking the show and the hats. My son, who's going to be 10 soon, which is crazy, he really loves XD too. He's designed some fun stuff. I'll have to share it on the stream. Howard, of course, is calling out, this is a cool feature, sure, but spell check is coming very soon. So Howard is very, very excited by spell check.
By the way, before coming into this live stream, I explicitly turned off my master build because sometimes I get too excited and then
Oh well, don't worry.
That version
I have
is showing
master
all the
build.
features.
I have the master build up, so no worries there. Actually, I wanted to show some of the stuff that we've created as a design team and how we've shared here. This is actually I used XD to create a deck to talk about how we run our design review process. This was kind of an earlier version, an earlier iteration of that. But this was something that I kind of used to, again, not communicate. I was actually not doing a pixel perfect design here. That was really, again, just trying to communicate some ideas and really share this with the team and kind of get everybody's feedback, about kind of how we work as a team. And so this is where I was kind of outlining kind of some of the different process and reviews that we follow as a team. And again, I was using it as to communicate an idea, and I would then take that XD, design the presentation in XD. Publish that URL, and now I can share that with the team, or I can present it, via the web, and not have, not deal with all the UI of XD. Of course, another one that actually I designed a feature live on stream in XD with Michael Chase very previously, and actually this is that prototype that I created for that future possible feature in XD, and I just sent it out there to the chat, and everybody came and gave me feedback. And there was some really cool conversation. I mean, at mentions would have been amazing. So I'll have to go back then. But here I am actually talking with everybody who's giving me feedback. And again, this just tightens that feedback loop, right? So rather than having to go and track all this feedback via XD, you know, or email or Slack, like here it is all in one place. I can go back and refer to it. When I update or revise this, I can come here and resolve those comments or keep ones. Yeah, super handy. Again, been a big part of kind of how we work as a team.
Why don't you show your design sprint phase one more time?
Oh yeah,
Gladstone
yes,
asking.
yes, sure. Luke, what's spell check? Yes, spell check, very handy in the design tool. Coming soon to Adobe XD. So, yeah. Hey, Osama, great to see you here. Thanks for joining. Linda built her business. She did her business plan in XD. Very cool. Yeah, this was Gladstone. This was kind of an early part, an early sort of riff on our design process. Again, we're constantly sort of updating and checking in and doing reviews and like seeing how this is working. But yeah, this was kind of an early proposal. And I think again, we've continually just sort of built on this. And actually, this was before, I think, team-wide, we actually adopted, and I shared this with Vignesh in a previous stream, the sort of discovery, plan, implement that's now adopted. So this actually went in, and this is now adopted by not just the design team, but actually the whole team. Again, parts of this were pulled out and teased out.
Yeah, just being in sync, you know.
Yeah, being in sync, right? Communicating. Don't mention Scrum, Matthias. Come on, that's not a designer thing. Yeah, again, like this is, we really just use XD to communicate those ideas. And Kate, hop back to that one diagram. I want to just sort of go back because I think this makes to me just such a great point that we're really aware, I think, as a team that there are all these things that we need to do to communicate throughout the design process, right? And that's really what you're focused on, right, with the squad. And that's why, I was so excited to have Kate on because like she and Lars and the squad are really thinking very deeply about like how we work. It's a very meta problem. But we
collaborate to build a collaboration feature.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool gig. We're like I don't like the term, but dog fooding that I hate. I just don't. It just makes me feel bad saying it. But yeah, like it's cool to be like using new features like as they release, like using the master builds. Like so we're using the features, the collaboration features as we're designing them and implementing them. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's great because especially like collaboration feature, you are not just serving designers, but also people who are working with designers.
Yeah.
So anyone can provide feedback. I send my XD prototype link. People give me all sorts of,
that's what we want to show this. All right, we'll hop back to my machine. I actually wanted to show everyone this. So once you've started generating all of your XD prototypes, now on assets.adobe.com, you can actually go in and see all the prototypes that you've shared in the past.
This is the ultimate sneak peek.
This is Howard and everyone's sneak peek today. If you're paying attention to all my weird titles. Oh look, there's a Pokemon Go prototype. These are all from this is now going like way back. Like these are all the prototypes that I've generated. And also now, this is a pretty recent feature too. I can see all the ones that have been shared directly with me. Again, these aren't actually my files. These are just prototypes that have been shared with me from the team. And so I can go here and can see updates and refer back to them rather than having to track like all the individual links that have been sent to me. So yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Are you guys have any more questions here as we're wrapping up? If you have any questions, again, the team is super excited to talk to you. So hit us up on Twitter. Go check out if you have a feature suggestion or things you'd like to see in XD. Go visit our user voice forum, adobexd.uservoice.com. We're always there, and people are suggesting new features, and they're voting on them. And we really use that. And of course, we use these moments here to really guide kind of our roadmap and the features that we're working on. So yeah. So Kate, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you. It's super fun.
I'm gonna have you on again soon. So because you're gonna have some really cool stuff to show off towards the end of the year.
I love giving sneaks, by the way, and I want to steal the title of Andrew, the cool guy, tweeting like cool stuff. I want to steal that one day.
I just go and do it on stream. Nobody knows. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back every Friday here. We'll have a new topic. Everybody go bug Lars on Twitter. Tell him to join. You want to see him on stream. Maybe even go suggest it on uservoice.com. go suggest and then vote on it. Lars, you're gonna join me on stream one of these days. Thanks, Kate.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, you guys have any feedback, let us know.
Have a great
We'll see you
rest
next
of the day.
week.